Here's your Kevin.
Hey, guys, it's Amber,
And Kristen.
and today we are talking about conspiracy theories
Again.
again. We've talked about this before, but there's so many. There's so many.
Well, and you and I get so fascinated in the conspiracy theories,
Oh, I
which
love
is
them.
so funny
I love a
because
good conspiracy
we
theory.
both get kind of wrapped up in them. Let me go ahead and talk about conspiracy theories.
Like, I will jump down that rabbit hole in, I will spend hours talking and searching and seeing what I can find. Um, some of them are funny. Some of them are scary.
I know. There's a lot of them actually that are scary. It's funny because we actually right before we went on, we had been moving everything around and adjusting chairs and stuff, and I
Oh
forgot to
yeah,
turn
we
on the light.
switched. We switched
And poor
everything up.
Amber, her hair blends into everything. So,
Hmm.
anywho, go ahead.
So with the conspiracy theories that I have found, that actually I just okay. First of all, because we've talked about this before, you don't know what CERN is, correct?
No,
So you don't remember, and please, anybody who is listening to us live right now, if you remember CERN happening, please chime in. Let me know that I'm
let this
not,
poor woman know.
yes, I'm not crazy. So you do not remember like a few months ago, and I don't know how
When you
many
said, "Do you
months.
remember?" I'm sitting here like in my lifetime or yours.
Here, like this year, I think maybe it was last year.
I don't know.
Anyway, they told us that they were opening CERN or doing something with CERN, and so something with our cell phones. I just remember so many TikToks and so many people making funny things, like they would come out with the tinfoil hats and say, because they were like making fun of protecting
I was about to
themselves
say
or
though, because
whatever.
that is funny because the temple hats reminds me of the it's an old show, but I cannot remember the name of it, but they like are making fun of the aliens and stuff, and they come out with like their temple hats
The
on with the
tinfoil
pointed at the
hats,
hat
yeah.
top.
So that's what kind of like what they did with CERN. Like all these content creators on TikTok was talking about this. Anyway, they say that like one of the things that I have seen with the conspiracy theories is that we jumped into a parallel universe or some sort of thing like that when CERN happened. When they opened CERN or did whatever they did with CERN, whenever they did it, that it actually put us into a parallel universe.
You are speaking a different language to me because
What?
that's what when we were sitting here looking it up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can find it, and I'm like, all I can find is something about a black hole.
Because they say that it sucked Earth into a black hole, which is kind of putting us, I guess, I'm guessing,
Have
into
you seen the
like,
world we live in? We probably are in a black hole.
that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
just saying.
That's what it happened when
Uh,
they opened CERN or did whatever they did with
yeah,
CERN.
I have no idea. That's like I said before we went on. So we also weren't planned out for today. Um, I was trying to find the stuff on CERN, and I can't find anything. So the only thing I can find is what it says about a black hole.
That the
Um,
Earth was sucked into a black
that
hole.
is all I could find, and so I was like, okay, is Amber losing her mind,
Maybe
or
I am. I feel like it happened. Maybe I made
so
it
it
up. I don't
says
know.
Earth has been sucked into a black hole. The European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN. So that's what CERN is the European Organization for Nuclear Research, is at the heart of a lot of crazy conspiracy theories, including people who believe that when CERN discovered the Higgs boson in 2012, they inadvertently created a black hole and the Earth was sucked into it. These people think that the world ended in 2012, but we haven't realized it yet.
Oh no, see now that's kind of interesting too because I did not even think I did not know any of that. But
I don't know. That's just
I
what I found.
remember something recently, like very recent. I'm wanting to say this year, but it might have been like towards the end of last year. Um, Abigail said what?
Girl, I've read so much on CERN.
See, okay, I'm not crazy then. CERN actually is a thing, and it did happen.
And then she said, and I hate conspiracy theories.
Oh, I love conspiracy theories. I'm a huge
All right,
conspiracy.
Carrot, you sit there and hush.
I'm a
The
huge
peas are at play.
because listen, most of them that you look into, I bet you probably 8 out of 10 are actually true, and not
Well,
so much the conspiracy
I
theories
was about
that
to
everybody
say,
says.
and that's the thing. Like, it's usually the ones that everybody's so highly against, or that are like a big clash in the world or something.
Mhm.
Those are usually ones come up, and it's like, oh wow, it was true.
Mhm.
Like, do I think Elvis is still alive? No. Do I think Tupac and Biggie are still alive? No. I mean,
I'm kind of torn on Tupac.
I am too, but I mean, I don't. I don't think he is, because now that
So here is one. Do you remember when the astronauts that blew up? Do you remember when that happened? Like the astronauts that went into space. I was in third grade when that happened. Do you know what
So
I'm
was I
talking
born?
about?
I was like 3, Amber.
I don't know. How old were you when I was in third grade?
So you would have been 9. So no, I wasn't even 3. I wasn't born.
Okay,
I'm 10 years younger
so
than you.
anyway, when I was in the third grade, Google it. The astronauts that they're
When Amber was in the 3rd grade,
the
what
astronauts.
astronauts blew up?
Yes, they exploded when they
What?
were.
So was it on takeoff?
Yes. Let's give her a minute to catch up, folks. I keep forgetting she's she's way behind me in time.
1986.
Yeah.
I wasn't born until 89. So it was the Space Shuttle
No.
Challenger.
Was it 86?
Yeah, because yeah.
But I was still in the third grade. You were born when I was in the third grade.
The space shuttle that blew up was the Space Shuttle Challenger, and that was in 1986. Are you sure you were in the 3rd grade?
I'm positive I was because I remember plain as day. This was like a huge event. So
Think
they
about
had.
it. If you were 9 in the 3rd grade, I wasn't born yet. 4 more years, I would have been born. So in 89, I was born. So yeah, you would have been in the 3rd grade.
Oh yeah. So it
Wow.
wouldn't made sense. Anyway, they wheeled in the TV for us to watch it live because they televised
Like they
it
did us with
live.
the Twin Towers.
I guess I don't know. I wasn't in school when the Twin Towers happened.
I was in middle school.
So they wheeled in the TV, and the fourth grade class came over and watched it with us too. So
Mhm.
everybody was super excited.
Oh dear God.
We watched this. Is this all Abigail?
Yes.
Is she off work?
Abigail,
Oh
I
yeah.
have to squint to look, man.
Um.
Dang, I should be on this one.
Yes. Come
The
on.
Challenger.
There we go.
Well, so
She figured
yeah,
it
we
out.
already figured it out.
So anyway, they're saying that the
She was in the
one.
1st grade. Aren't y'all the same age? No, she's a little bit younger. You're 40.
Yeah, but she wouldn't have been in the first grade if I was
Technically,
in
yeah.
third.
What year did you graduate, Abigail? What year did you graduate?
I graduated in '98.
Okay, I graduated in 07. So I graduated
We
9,
already
11.
discovered you wasn't born when the Challenger happened.
No, but I'm saying like she could have possibly been in the 1st grade, even if like she's technically a year and a half younger than you, because of the way the ages flow on like school scheduling. So technically she could have been.
Anyway, can I finish my story?
Sorry. Tom said he remembers.
Okay, you remember the Challenger. Okay.
I can't help it. I'm not an old fart, y'all.
So they had said, I remember watching this happen. Okay. Like I remember when it happened and they got so far up and the thing exploded. And so they like turned off the TV, rolled it out of the room. Some of the teachers were still watching, like in other classrooms, like the teachers went into another classroom to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So they could finish watching it, but they didn't want the students to see it, of course, of what was going on.
Yeah.
So fast forward years later, now they're saying that was made up. That did not happen, and that those astronauts that was on, because it was like a school, it was like random everyday people that
Yeah.
got on this.
It said several notable space launches have ended in explosions. The Space Shuttle Challenger exploded 73 seconds after liftoff on January 28th, 1986, killing all 7 astronauts on board.
Mm-hmm.
Most recently, SpaceX's Starship rocket, launched from Texas, exploded shortly after liftoff, causing debris to rain down. This was the second consecutive failure for the Starship program. So,
But there was nobody in that one, right?
yeah.
In that one, there was
Mhm.
some people in it. Well, so anyway, what I'm saying is they're saying that these people that was on the Challenger was
Mhm.
still alive. Like there is all kinds of TikToks, and if you Google them, they've got like comparisons side by sides of
Yeah,
people.
but have you seen the one where they talk about the implosion that happened recently with the sub that imploded?
Mm-hmm.
How they were saying like they actually, I just seen something where they recently found another thing that might show like the sound from the implosion,
Mm-hmm.
and my gosh, it must have been super loud. But there for a little bit they were saying they could hear people talking,
Right,
and
because they were still recording. Some of them were still recording on there.
yeah, but the thing was is that there's no way they were. Like they were basically like
Well,
parts by
then,
then.
but how did the videos?
You know how sound carries and stuff and light and all that crap?
But how
I
did the
wonder,
videos get out of these people?
it's a conspiracy theory.
See, that is where my mind goes with all of these, because if that happened and they imploded like they said under the sea, and the
She
sea,
graduated in 98.
see, you were in third grade, Abigail, third grade. Um.
Don't y'all make me sit here and do some math.
Anyways,
We were not in the third grade. Oh God, here, let's just let Abigail and Amber go at it. I want to sit and watch this one.
anyways, if you made me forget what I was thinking. Oh, because if it imploded, how did they get videos of inside the submarine, whatever? Like, where did those videos come from?
You was definitely in the first grade.
I was not in the
Because
first
from
grade.
98 to 86 is 12 years.
I was
You was,
not. I remember my classroom. I remember my classroom. I remember my teacher. Oh, you know what? Maybe they all just put us in the third grade classroom to watch it.
I don't know.
Anyway, that's besides the freaking point.
Abigail, you were
The
right.
whole
I got your
damn
back.
point. I remember what classroom I was
Y'all
in.
should sit in
I
a room
know
with all
that.
three of us together.
I know what
Do you
classroom I
think
was
somebody
in.
get pissed off and really we just laugh?
Anyway, back to the point of the whole conspiracy theory. They're saying that did not happen. Those people did not die. That they were paid actresses to
They
do
also
this.
say that about like Sandy Hook.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And I don't believe that. I believe that poor little babies are gone and stuff. But I think part of me wanted to believe that conspiracy just because so many babies died.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know why I hung on to that one, and it wasn't because I didn't believe, but it would have just been so much better
If
if
it
it
was
was.
fake, yeah.
Yes. Because I just couldn't imagine being one of the parents. But that's like that. I mean, if you think about it, anything horrible that's happened in our history, it has always been turned into a conspiracy theory until proven true.
So who starts these conspiracy theories? Where do they? Does some random
Somebody
person
with a
just
big
show
mouth,
up?
apparently, I guess.
Just show up one day
Uh,
and say, "No, I don't think that's true. Let's
the internet carries things, and I
disprove
mean,
it." But the internet wasn't
well,
around
that's what
when
I was
I
going to
was
say.
little.
But if you think about it too, though, all it would have taken was one news broadcaster back then, to say it. And then other ones pick it up and say, we heard, or this may be true, or
Because see, they're
whatever.
saying, that the moon landing is a conspiracy theory, that
But
we've
also,
never been on the moon.
the conspiracy theories didn't start happening until the internet.
No, they didn't start getting out till the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That's when
So,
they started getting
like
out.
the Tuskegee effect or whatever, that was proven true.
So,
But
well,
at first, it
here,
was a conspiracy theory.
so here is some conspiracy theories, and I have never even heard of this one. So, like, my reaction to this one is like a legit reaction because I have no idea what this is.
You're getting too old to remember what grade you're in. Us both sitting here
Apparently,
squinting at the TV. I moved
you had it
us
on your
backwards. It was
phone.
a bad idea. I can't see nothing. That was
So
Justin that said that, by the way.
The Dead Baby Project.
You better watch it. Ain't gonna get you.
Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
The Dead Baby Project.
Mm-mm.
Crazy conspiracies is good fun until you find out that they are true. So the conspiracy is the government was stealing dead bodies for radioactive testing.
So it's funny because did you know if you like are an organ donor or whatever, they can use any part of your body. You can actually be donated to like science, but you can also be donated to like the army to be blown up.
Really?
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I knew that you could be donated, like, of course, to
for science, but
for science, yeah,
yeah, but you can
because there's like a
actually.
whole facility in there, like
Mm,
where all that stuff goes
I don't
to.
know. I just know that I was reading up on that some guy found out his grandma got used as it's not funny that his grandma died, but he found out that she got used as like a test dummy for the army.
For military.
And I'm just sitting here
So
like, can you imagine?
this one is a true conspiracy theory. It
I
actually
had a
happened. The
good
truth
joke there,
is
Amber.
the government was stealing body parts. No, the government was stealing parts of dead bodies because they needed young tissue. They recruited a worldwide network of agents to
Oh,
find recently
like
deceased babies and children.
that's like the Hollywood elite now. They're saying that they were using oh, what did they call it?
Aborted babies.
No, but it was something they were using to stay youthful.
That's it. That was the aborted babies, like the
It was called something
skin
though.
or something.
I don't remember what it's called.
NAD, maybe.
No.
Anyway, so yes, they were actually doing this. They would take samples, even limbs, each collected without notification or permission for more than 1,500 families. How insane is that? Like, that is insane to me. So,
No. Can I tell you what I was gonna say?
oh,
Granny got lit one last time.
what?
Because if Granny got blown up by the army.
You're so. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
I held on to that forever. I was like, I'm not gonna remember this. Yes, I will. I'm gonna remember this. Granny got lit one more time. The foreskin.
That's of a penis, right?
It sure ain't from your
I
vagina.
was gonna say.
It says a controversial foreskin facial procedure gained popularity in Hollywood. That's not that's true. That's not the conspiracy theory. That's true.
That's what I just said. They
But
were
foreskin
using
is
it,
not from. If a little boy gets circumcised, that's his foreskin.
but
So
it's
they don't.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. That's like now they're using oh, what is it? Some kind of sperm. Um
Snail sperm.
no, it's pink. Oh,
I know they.
Michaela is using it
I
now.
know. I thought it was snail because there's
Mm-mm.
snail mucin or something.
You all will
Like the
never see me
slime.
put any kind of anything like that on my face. I will be the wrinkliest old bitch you've ever met.
Now I have tried the snail slime stuff that they say that it's supposed to be good for your skin. It actually makes your skin feel really, really good.
Like that, the slime, okay, I could do that, but like sperm?
No, I could not do the sperm.
Uh-uh.
I don't even know why. Like,
Who tries it out? Like,
who says, "Oh, let's go get some well sperm and put it on our face. It's gonna make us young." Like, who says that? Like, where?
like who thinks? Like, I mean, go
That's
you.
what I'm
I'm sure
saying.
you're, a millionaire now at least.
Where
but
are
what
these
the crap?
scientists? Where are they coming from? That's what I want to
Oh,
know. Where are
man.
these scientists coming from that says this shit? Okay,
Sorry,
so
y'all. This is like
bad booze.
what?
Bad booze. This
Like
is a
or like
drinking
drinking.
booze.
Okay.
Yeah, drinking booze. So these are conspiracy theories that actually happen. The conspiracy was during Prohibition, the government poisoned alcohol to keep people from drinking it. That was the conspiracy. Everybody said that, right?
That's
The
like
truth, huh?
that's like they say that Michigan
The ice, the water.
they did something to their water so it wasn't drinkable for a while.
Yes.
Huh. Okay, go
Yes.
ahead. I'm sorry.
these are the things that I'm talking about. So, but these are proven. I wonder how long, because here is two now that are really old conspiracy theories. Like this one was from the Prohibition times, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just now coming out that it wasn't a conspiracy theory. So when we die, all of these conspiracy theories that we talk about, are they going to come out and say that they weren't conspiracy theories after all?
There is no telling.
I need to know.
It'll be interesting for sure.
So the crazy conspiracy theories almost always suggest the government is behind it all, which is true. I mean, just about every conspiracy theory you come across, it's government based somehow.
Yeah.
But
Unless it's
again,
Hollywood.
yeah, Hollywood or government. Again, they were right. Manufacturers of industrial alcohol had been mixing their product with dangerous chemicals for years prior to the prohibition. Between 1926 and 1933, the federal government pushed manufacturers to use stronger poisons to discourage bootleggers from turning the alcohol into moonshine. So they were actually making people sick
So that they wouldn't do it.
so that they would not drink alcohol during, and bootleggers wouldn't sell moonshine during prohibition times.
Interesting. You know, we should if anybody would be interested, we should make a show on things like that with alcohol. Make an alcohol based conspiracy one because I guarantee you there's plenty of those as
Oh,
well.
I'm sure.
That this was one that I had never heard, but that the Earth is hollow.
Like, not, I've
It
heard that
says
it's
in
not
2000.
round.
No, it says it's not. It's hollow. Yeah, I've heard it's not round. The flat Earth. Remember you and my husband last
Yeah,
time?
you was.
It says in 2014, scientists released new unknown findings about the Earth's core, and let's just say conspiracy theorists took it and ran with it after learning that we don't know much at all about the surface of the Earth or what lies beneath its layers. The hollow Earth theory gained traction. Some believers even think there's an Earth inside of the Earth.
Now, I've heard the Earth
So can I
inside
go
the
to the inner
Earth.
one because I don't like the outer one.
I've heard of the Earth inside the Earth, and I've heard that that's why we can't go to Antarctica. I've not heard. I sit here like people sit here and tell me this stuff.
Well, I heard
No, I haven't heard.
that's
I've
what I
read.
said. No wonder a lot of actors are dickheads
Exactly.
using foreskins. Yeah, pretty much. Is that what you use then? But no, I've heard a lot of stuff when it comes to like the Earth's core and things like that. But I remember in school there was a daggone like a thing that you looked at. It was like the Earth, but it was like the mantle, the whatever else, and then the core.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
like it showed you
The
the layers
different layers
of the Earth.
of the Earth.
So it's interesting to like hear that conspiracy theory because I mean, just because the scientists like said there was more to it than what they know, look at how much of the ocean has been explored.
I know.
Like
The ocean
nobody even
scares
knows.
me, but I'm fascinated by it.
Nobody even knows how deep the ocean actually is. Like you can't even like nobody has ever.
And that's where
been.
aliens live now.
Oh really?
That's what they say.
So they're not in space no more.
No, they're in the
Oh,
ocean.
Son of a bitch! They
Yeah.
learn how to flip and sink and not fly.
No, they've never flown. They've always lived in the ocean. They lied to
Sorry,
us.
we have to use spaceships. I cannot not think that.
They are spaceships, but they're ocean ships.
That's why they're round. So they can float.
But that's why they say that, you can't go to Antarctica because something there's like the Antarctic Treaty or something.
Mm-hmm.
Now you tell me, and this bumfuzzles the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Nah.
Oh, so this
I wouldn't have said bumfuzzle. That's why when you said that, I was like, oh,
you got to tell me that we cannot hardly get along with any other country in this whole entire world, but every single one of them is holding true to the Antarctic Treaty.
Well, you want to hear something funny about that? Because I don't know why this popped up when you said that, but it says the Nazis had a secret base in Antarctica.
The Nazis did?
Yeah, it says rumors began circulating in the 1950s that the Nazis had a secret base in Antarctica that housed advanced technology like UFOs. However, since then no evidence has been discovered to suggest that it's true. And Cambridge researcher Colin Summerhays wrote a 21-page paper disputing the theory. But either way, that's kind of interesting. Like, I don't know how the Nazis tied in with the UFOs, but like that's pretty interesting.
Because they probably had this stuff. Like, explain to me why We cannot get along. Seriously, we cannot get along with any other country in the world. But you're going to tell me that none of them have ever tried or wanted or attempted to break the Antarctic Treaty.
Well, okay, so I have no idea, but you were talking about CERN and how it's like something to do with a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
So this one says that we're all living in the Matrix. No, really, people think we're living in a real life simulation. The theory is supported by crazy coincidences and happenings that occur during a glitch in the Matrix. This could be anything from recognizing the same background character to losing track of time.
Which is CERN. I said when they did whatever they did with CERN, they
If that's the case, though, I'm in trouble.
they put us in a parallel universe. Okay, so here's another one. This one's true. Another one that has been proven true.
Mm-hmm.
The first lady who ran the country. The conspiracy is a stroke rendered President Woodrow Wilson incapable of governing, and his wife stepped in. So his wife is the one who stepped in.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I didn't know that that was a conspiracy theory. So it's true. He did suffer a stroke towards the end of his presidency. The government felt like it was the country's best interest to keep things quiet. The public didn't learn about his stroke for months and months. So during his time while he was down, like he could not run the country, his wife is the one who ran the country. Now you tell me
And
that
who
they
was it?
will, Theodore Roosevelt.
Okay.
So you tell me that they will do that shit then, way back then, and you expect me to believe Joe Biden was the one that was running the country here whenever he was president? What, last year?
I'm
The
pretty sure
last
he was eating chocolate ice
years?
cream.
Yeah, in his pajamas, in
Mm-hmm.
bed.
I
Like
don't blame him.
I would have been too.
Me too.
I'm
Personally, I
not
still
so
would
sure
be.
Maybe Jill was running it.
I
I
don't
don't
think so.
know.
But that's what's so interesting about all of it, because and let me like say this, like, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Do not turn this political, please, in the comments. Like,
Oh yeah, we're
this
not.
is
We're
just
not.
like us, talking about conspiracy theories. We're not going to do that. um Tommy House said they said that about Hillary. LOL.
Oh yeah. Oh, that Hillary ran the country too.
Well, she might as well be, because Bill Clinton was a little
That
busy with
was
extracurricular activities.
that was a but that is a legit theory too. That
Well,
she's the one that
but that's
pretty
the
much
thing.
made the decisions.
You think about those things, and like,
But they've also said that she's kind of a devil too, and she's Illuminati. That's what they say now?
I guess. Which, see, that's why I kind of thought if all these people that were faking dead, like Tupac and all of them,
Mm-hmm.
with Diddy in prison now, and I mean, he's going away for life, or he should at least.
Will they come back out?
I was wondering, like, if that was the reason, because I mean, he was the reason, that hit was made. So,
Wouldn't that be crazy if
oh,
that
I'd be so
happened?
happy. We need some good rappers,
I like
like
Tupac.
old
I
school
like
rappers back.
Biggie too.
But I think that would be so interesting. Oh God.
I just
Buckle
found
up, y'all.
yes, here we go again, guys. Now the what I'm on, and we were talking about any kind of conspiracy theories here too, but these are ones that are actually been proven to be true.
Ooh, I seen some of these a while ago. They were cool.
Okay, so the government mind control.
Oh yeah, because like the media, they can make a whole lot of people believe a whole lot of things that aren't
Yes,
true by using the media.
absolutely. And you know what? We studied that in school. I don't clearly I don't remember what grade I was in when I studied
Yeah,
it,
don't mention grades.
but we did study how subliminal
Subliminal.
messages come through like your TV and stuff.
Well, and see, I always thought like the news and the media and stuff that was supposed to be informational, and now it's not.
No,
You actually have to research what you're watching, because
it's true.
there's
It's
so
most of
much.
it's not true, or
Yes.
it's one sided.
It's very one sided, or it only shows the bad of something. Like police, because I will always, back our officers. It'll always show the bad of them, when really that's such a small happening.
Yeah.
Like there
Does
needs.
it happen? Yeah.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
there's still others.
But there's
But
still
it's
good.
because it's because Good does not pull
Good don't
ratings.
sell.
Yeah, good don't sell.
Mm-mm.
So here is the conspiracy. The CIA was testing LSD and other hallucinant drugs on Americans in a top secret experiment on behavior modification. The truth is the program was known as MK Ultra and it was real. The CIA started using volunteers. The novelist Ken Kesey was a notable subject, but the program headed soon began dosing people without their knowledge. MK Ultra left many victims permanently mentally disabled. I believe it 100%. I believe that they still do that. You will
Oh.
never convince me
No, I
differently.
absolutely think that's true. Here's one. Zombies can rise from the dead. The belief
I
in
think
zombies,
zombies are real.
the belief in, have you seen some of the people we've like come in contact with? It's called myth.
Um,
The belief in zombies can be traced back to ancient Greece when they buried their dead with stones on top of them so they couldn't return from the grave. You were so right.
yeah,
Even
that's not him.
today, some people prepare for the zombie apocalypse just in case. So, I mean, a lot of people prepare for doomsday.
Hmm.
And I don't blame them because I don't think doomsday is going to look like that. But do I think it's going to come down to a bad situation? Yeah.
I think that
I think war. I don't think zombies.
a lot of movies, especially nowadays, down
Mm-hmm.
movies, and maybe even like older movies, I think that they have just a hint of knowledge of what's either happened prior or what is going to happen. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that there's like some kind. I think that's why they make them so. Because I mean, look at how many movies are done on the White House being attacked.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so many different movies on that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Apollo 13. You know, that was of a spacecraft getting stuck in space. Did you watch that movie? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I see Apollo 17 wasn't the last moon mission.
No, it was a movie.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Um, it's got a famous actor in it.
It's got several famous
But
actors in
no,
it.
but he like calls his daughter from the spaceship or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so her dad and her fiance or boyfriend, husband, new husband, they were both on it together, and I think the dad, um, one of them had to die, and so I think that the dad,
Yeah, the dad took it.
yeah, the dad
Yeah.
took it so that way she could
Um,
live or she could be with him.
yeah, I seen that too. This one's pretty interesting, but this one, of course, can't be proven or disproven. But Amelia Earnhardt was eaten by crabs. So,
I've seen so many videos
mhm.
on that or
So it
different
says that
things,
she disappeared in
documentaries.
1937. So anybody that doesn't know, Amelia Earnhardt is the woman that was going to fly around the world. But it says while it's widely believed she ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean, some think she landed by mistake on a deserted island and was eventually eaten by 3 foot long coconut crabs that inhabited the shores.
You will not convince me that there are so many other creatures and even people that live on those islands like that.
Oh, well, there's an island. I'll have to look up the tribe they have, but you are not allowed to go on this island, and it is there's a tribe on it.
In Africa,
Mm, it may be, but like a
is it like the Maui tribe or something?
you could
Maui.
say I would know, but I know that a press guy went there to speak to him, or like he thought he could be friends with them or whatever, and he ended up dying
Mm.
or getting
Yeah, I
killed, not
mean, why
dying.
and why do that?
Hmm.
Why do that?
5G causes cancer and COVID-19. I believe the COVID-19 part. Think about it. 5G is on your phone, on the internet. We touch our phones. We touch everything that's like.
You know
So,
that
but
is
I don't mean
why
like it would actually 5G gives it to you, but like just passing your phones back and forth and stuff.
that is one of the things that's one of the reasons why most of the time now when I talk on the phone, I use my speakerphone. Now the other reason is because my old phone busted and I just got used to it.
Oh, trust me, I remember.
But I will hardly ever, even now, that I've got the new phone. I will hardly not talk on speakerphone. I won't hardly put it up to
Oh,
my ear.
here's one that I have not heard. A solar flare caused the Titanic to sink.
A solar flare, like what do you mean?
It says a study recently discovered that the northern hemisphere was experiencing a moderate to severe magnetic storm on the night of the ship's collision. Similar solar flares are known to cause power outages on Earth and could have affected the ship's radar and radio rescue signals.
There are so many conspiracy theories
Mhm.
behind just the Titanic alone. I watched a documentary on that whole thing, and I'm sorry that you cannot convince me that that could not have been preventable.
Here's one. Oh, it definitely, I think it was. Sirens were responsible for shipwrecks, not sirens like like the women.
Mermaids.
So it says, call them the original conspiracy theorists, but sailors have claimed that mystical women dubbed sirens would lure them to the rocks and cause shipwrecks back in the day.
Mermaids, they say that they have a beautiful voice and that they call out to the sailors to their demise. They call them so they can
That is
pretty much
nifty.
kill them. And I don't know. The internet is full of all kinds of crazy shit, but they actually have videos and pictures of said mermaids,
Well, think
or
about it though. They
sirens,
have pictures of
whatever.
aliens too. They have pictures of all these mystical beings.
That said, they said aliens never existed until recently, and
Mhm.
now aliens all of a sudden exist.
But like I said,
Mermaids exist.
we've only
Sirens exist.
discovered like 5% of the ocean. It's not much of it.
Bigfoot
Like
exists.
the abdominal,
The
not your
abdominal
abdomen,
exists.
not your abdomen. Your the abominable snowman
He
lives in
exists.
Asia.
He exists.
He lives in Asia apparently. Much
Giants, I swear, I think giants exist.
much like Bigfoot, the abominable snowman has long been a mythological creature that the public has tried to find for thousands of years. The lure of the conspiracy: large foot tracks found in the snow of a two-legged human-like animal. Is that okay? So here's the thing with that: bear can walk on their hind legs.
Yeah, but not that big. You know that they got ways
Have you seen how
to.
big bear can get?
Bears are huge, no doubt.
But have you ever seen the actual prints that they're saying are
Like their prints, like
yeah?
the
I haven't.
abominable snowman prints. I've never been to Asia.
Well, I've never seen a picture. I ain't never been to Asia either. I've only been out of the country once.
I'm telling you, any of those creatures like that, you will not convince me they do not exist. Giants, mermaids, sirens,
All
like
of that stuff
now
is interesting.
mermaids, as in like the Little Mermaid. No,
No.
I don't think that is the case.
Mm-mm.
But like you said, there's too much of the ocean that has not been
That hasn't been discovered.
yeah, that's not been discovered.
Well, and that's something else too. You think about how much of the ocean hasn't been discovered. Look at how much of our forests and stuff haven't been discovered.
Well, yeah.
There is so much like different stuff that
See, that's the stuff that fascinates me.
well, and unless you're like in the government
Fairies.
or something,
I
you're
think
never gonna
fairies
know.
exist too.
I think you're probably right.
So here is another one that has turned out to be true. John Lennon was under government surveillance. So the conspiracy is the FBI was spying on the former Beatle John Lennon. The truth is, regardless of celebs, they're always interesting, and this one is most certainly true. Like many counterculture heroes, Lennon was considered a threat, and anti-war songs like "Give Peace a Chance" didn't exactly endear former Beatle John Lennon to the Nixon administration. In 2000, so they reported this in 2010. They decided this was done in 1971, though. So you tell the difference because in 1971 there was no internet and stuff like that.
No.
But the FBI put Lennon under surveillance, and in the Immigration and Nationalization Service tried to deport him later on. So they did put him, like he was a singer, and they put him under surveillance. The government is spying on you. Told you.
Well, that's
told
true,
you.
though.
I knew this was true.
I mean, they're like, and anybody, like, people crack me up because they're like, I don't want the government, blah, blah, blah. Do you have a phone? Because
I think they're in the air. They're everywhere.
well, and I'm sorry,
They're
but how
everywhere.
many times you've been talking about something and your phone pulls it up?
Or even if you think about it sometimes.
I know that spooks me out. But if you think about it, though, if you think about thinking, you've probably mentioned it at some point. Like normally, anything you think about usually comes out of your mouth at some point, even if you're by yourself talking to yourself. Like
You've talked
you've
about it.
talked about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, some of the stuff though that comes up on my phone, I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't leave my phone just laying around so much because then I'm like, oh, why is this popping up on my phone? Because I did not think about that or talk about it. Like if I leave it down there on the bar.
Oh, you even said telling one would pop
Whew,
up down
some of the
there.
shit that pops up on my phone sometimes. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I was saying Kurt Cobain did not take his own life; that he was
Oft.
off. Yeah, I've
Yeah, I
seen
bet you
that.
there's several
Marilyn
celebrities.
Monroe.
You again, you can't listen when it comes to conspiracy theories.
Did you
I
see where her
am
daughter just wore her dress to the Met Gala?
Marilyn Monroe didn't have a daughter.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of yeah.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm
She didn't
thinking
have any
of
kids.
shit, not Marilyn Monroe. Um, Anna Nicole Smith.
Anna Nicole Smith. Yeah.
Her
Oh
daughter.
yeah, her daughter.
Her daughter just wore Danny. She just wore her dress that her mom wore to that same show.
To the Met Gala.
Yeah.
To the No, Marilyn Monroe. She tried. Actually, she had gotten pregnant a couple
Bad
of
thing
times
is
and
I pictured her in my
miscarried.
head, and I mean I know who Marilyn Monroe is. I know who Anna Nicole Smith is,
Right.
but
Honestly,
they
I mean,
crossed paths.
there's still there's a lot of
In my brain they went this
similarities
way.
there.
Well, and if you think about it though, I mean, um, Anna Nicole Smith, I can believe because her son had just passed away.
Hmm.
Like, do I think it was on purpose? No. Do I think she didn't want to be here anymore because he was gone? Yes. Like, I think any parent probably
I don't.
feels that way, but I don't think it was purposeful.
I think
Like, I
that
just
there's
can't.
so like, especially with the Marilyn Monroe. I think we've talked about this before
Mm-hmm.
too because I have actually had, and this was years ago, that when Kindle, when like the Kindle things very
Yeah.
first came out. So I got one and I had downloaded Marilyn Monroe's Red Diaries. And you cannot find that anywhere right now. Like, you cannot find her Red Diaries. Anyway, I read the whole
Yeah.
thing. Um, okay. What?
I'm trying so hard to see your name. Sorry.
Jigs Mogger. Hey, Jig Moggers.
Yeah, Jigs Monger. Hey.
Hey,
Sorry, we're
Jigs.
blind.
So anyway, they were saying, I read through that whole entire thing, and the Kennedys absolutely did kill. Had a what?
I said you have a cowboy hat on because the lamp is in the perfect position. Sit back and look.
Oh. No, that's a lamp, Braylon.
This is what happens when we move things around.
We should have left it. But
That was
anyway, the government, actually, JFK's family killed Marilyn Monroe.
I've heard that because she knew so many things about them.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
and because I feel like, and this is my opinion after reading the Red Diaries that is no longer out there in existence for you to get.
I know.
But so she got pregnant there at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And it was either by JFK or it was by his brother because she was sleeping with both.
Yeah, I knew that.
And their mother forced her to Mexico to have an abortion. Now, when she came back, she was not ever the same because because of that, she had always lost. Like, anytime she was ever pregnant before, she always lost. She always had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
So it weighed on her so heavily that could this have been the one,
The only baby I'll ever
yeah,
have.
could this have been the one that actually made it?
Yeah.
But she was forced to have an abortion.
Oh, remind me to stay away from anybody with power. They're
Or
evil.
money. That's what I say. People with money and power, they're no good.
Yeah. I believe there's good, but I think that it's so far and few between, like, it's just not even us little people always see the negative. We don't see
Now,
the
I
good.
don't know what this is, but it was a fake battle, but a real war. So the conspiracy is the Gulf of Tonkin, Tonkin, incident on August the 2nd, 1964 was fake to provoke America support for the Vietnam War.
Tommy said, "Ladies, great job today. Way to have a good time. See you both next Tuesday."
Absolutely, Tommy. We can't
Absolutely.
wait.
We're excited for next Tuesday.
Thank
Are
you
you
for
ready
tuning
for next
in.
Tuesday, though? We can be a handful.
But it's fun.
It's
It's
always
fun
fun.
times.
Yeah, next Tuesday, though, we'll have Tommy on to talk about the blessing of the bikes. That'll be fun.
ET is buried in New Mexico.
I feel like I need a seatbelt today. At least you didn't
I
hit me.
just seen this one. Well, I was trying
You
to,
just
but
kicked me.
you wasn't there for me to hit. So yeah, so there is alien evidence in the American Southwest, which we already know. We already talked about the aliens.
He
They
said
are
he's
here.
always ready.
Absolutely, Tommy. We can't wait. ET is buried in the desert of New Mexico. So the truth is, this one is real. The Atari video game ET Extraterrestrial failed so miserably that the company buried up. Really, the
I don't know. You
company
just confused the shit out of me.
buried its unsold cartridges in the desert. So it's not a real alien.
Well,
It's
it's
just the
like
game.
them saying Walt Disney is frozen, and that's why they made the movie Frozen as a cover up. And
That his head. I think it. I believe it. I
I
believe that
believe
his frozen. His head, at least.
I believe
I don't know
that
why.
he is still at Disney. Do I believe he is frozen?
I bet
Maybe.
he is. I bet he's frozen at Disney on one of the rides.
Well, because have you ever seen those movies where they would like freeze people and like they would because those people wanted to be froze so they would live at a different time,
Yeah.
like so they wanted to be brought back.
Or they
I
would
kind
like
of wonder sometimes.
pick at their brains,
Well, I
like
kind of
if they
wonder
were
sometimes if they
genius.
could do that because they're taking like
Like Encino Man. Is that what you're talking about?
maybe I don't know the name of it, but that's like the mammoth woolly mammoth. Is that the like big thingy?
Mm-hmm.
They got some DNA out of one of the bones or something, and they're trying to like bring that back. And then like a wolf that is extinct, they're trying to bring it back genetically.
You
through that.
cannot tell me
Oh no, that's just pretty neat.
that they're doing shit like this and they cannot find a cure for cancer yet. I do
Oh,
not
it's there.
believe
There's
it.
too much money.
Yeah, I do not
There is too
believe it.
much money in the
Um,
in getting help.
Encino Man, I'm talking about Encino Man is the movie. Have you not
No,
seen
I
that?
mean I may have. I just don't know if I know the name.
So Polly Shore, do you know who Polly Shore is?
Oh, is he the weird guy with black hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So I've probably seen it then.
in that movie, they come across like him and his buddies come across like a caveman that's frozen,
Yes,
and
I've
they
seen it.
thaw him out and like make him
Mhm.
one of them or whatever.
Yeah. They like dress him and
Hmm.
try to make him normal.
Yeah, act normal and stuff. He
Yeah,
can't really
and he's
talk.
still like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I think stuff like that happens, and I believe that Walt Disney's at least his head's probably frozen somewhere in
I don't
Disneyland,
know.
Disney
I
World.
don't know about that as much as I think that we talk about spirits and stuff. Both of us believe in that. I do believe somehow he's there in spirit. Like I do
I'd say
believe
he's in
that.
spirit
But as
too.
far as his body, I don't know.
I bet his body's there too. I bet he's
Well,
frozen.
and it may not be
I
there.
bet he's in
Maybe
ice
he's
cubes.
in like a science place, so they can bring him back eventually down the road. I don't know. Don't bring him back yet though, because yeah.
Okay, so here's another one that turned out to be true. Canada developed the real gaydar. So the conspiracy is the Canada government was so paranoid about homosexuality that it developed a gaydar machine. It is true. It really happened. In the 1960s, the government hired a university professor to develop a way to detect homosexuality in federal employees. He came up with a machine that measured pupil dilation. What? Pupil dilation in response to the same-sex erotic imagery. The Canadian government used it to exclude or fire more than 400 men from the civil service, military, and the Mounties.
So the gaydar's a real thing.
That's where it
So-
came from. So it came from that.
So my friend that's gay, like that is something that's always said as a joke. Like her gaydar went off, or like I've said it.
Your gaydar went off.
Yeah, but that's funny because I never thought it was a real thing. I just thought it was like words or
No,
whatever.
it's real.
But
It's a real thing.
but it's funny because I don't feel like in most cases you need one.
I don't know. I'll tell you what, mine is horrible. No,
Really?
yes, I am horrible at it. My friend Jen, she is awesome at it. So when we would go out, of course, I've talked about this before. We had to go to, other cities around us because Harlan was always dry.
Mm-hmm.
Lexington was one of the places that we went to a lot. And I remember this so avidly that we went into this restaurant and our waiter was like talking to us, super nice, was a great guy and everything. When he walked off, she was like, he's gay. And I was like, no, there's no way. There's no way. Turns out he was, so when he came back, he starts talking about his relationship, and the way that he started talking about it made me think that I was right and she was wrong. And she thought the same thing until he said his boyfriend. And she was like, I knew it. I mean, we had tons of fun. He ended up going out with us to the bar that night. We
Hey,
had
I
tons of
mean, I'm
fun.
telling you what, but it's just funny because I cannot tell you how many times that's been said, like between her and I, because if we're out somewhere doing something,
Hmm.
and I'm just like, mine's off. I need
So,
to get mine fixed.
no, it's a real thing. So they did, the Canadian government came up with the gaydar.
Well, at least we know where that word came from now.
So here is
I
one,
don't like
and
how they
this
used
one,
it, but
I don't either. Well, I'm whatever, I guess.
to each their
Um,
own. But
so this one is one that still today is like a huge conspiracy theory, and it says it's true. The Illuminati and the US government. So the conspiracy is that a secret society that rules the world, the Illuminati and the US National Security Agency, are in cahoots.
you would have to be dumb not to think that there's something like that. I don't, the Illuminati, I doubt it. But like the upper, they all run the world with
Oh,
money,
I know
runs
that.
everything, money and power.
But have you ever heard, like, I mean, you've seen the stuff
Oh,
on the
I've absolutely seen it.
Illuminati
Yes.
with all the Illuminati stuff. So it's true. We're here to tell you that the link does, in fact, exist. Of course, that link is actually a hyperlink, an electronical link, if you will. But if you type
If you will.
Illuminati backwards in the web browser, let's not try this. You will land
Didn't
on
plan on it.
NSA website. Click this link if you dare. Rumor has it that it's an elite society, includes tons of famous personalities, actors, actresses, and performers. Meanwhile, the royal family is in a league of their own. So what? They're not part of the Illuminati?
I guess they're,
They're their own Illuminati?
yes. I don't know. I mean, but I think Illuminati, I think that's just a name given, but like money and power rules everything. So I mean, that's not a far fetched thing to think that people that have
But
money and power
what
rule
is
the
that
world.
church that
The
is in
Scientology.
Scientology?
That's what I was thinking
Yeah,
about when you were talking.
yeah. Because that's kind of like a cult like thing, right?
I don't know if we should talk about that.
No. Well, because I think when I think of
I know that's
Illuminati,
what's been said.
that is what, like,
Um,
things like that is what I think of.
yeah, I know that like
Allegedly.
well, and a
We
lot of
should you
people,
say that
yeah,
allegedly.
because I know there's people that have been a part of that church that have come out and talked against it and
Yeah,
spoke against
has
it.
done like
And
documentaries and
yes,
stuff on it.
so I mean,
Maybe not. Who
I
knows?
think I think that
The
it's
Illuminati, I think, is real. I think
I
there
think
is.
1000%, but I just think that's just a name given.
Yeah,
Like I
that's
mean,
what
I
they
think it's
call.
yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of all the true ones that I have found. But that's
Let's.
still very interesting.
It is very interesting. So I oof, I don't know. That last one will throw you for a loop.
It will.
What
It's
are some that
scary.
you all hear? Because like we do our best to stay away from certain things, just because of the controversy. We don't want that. We like talking about fun drama stuff, but not
Yeah, we don't
stuff
want to
that
bring in something
makes
that's
people hate each other.
yeah.
Um,
That's why we
so
stay away from a lot of the topics.
which and it's hard to do in conspiracy theories because a lot of it involves the government, but to me they're fun.
They're fascinating. I
like
won't say fun. I'll say
well, like
fascinating.
you bringing up Biden and stuff like that with
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton and all
Mhm.
that. that, and it's not like that is just what has been said.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
conspiracy
conspiracy
theory.
theory,
And so it's interesting to like hear those things. But
especially when some of them turn out to be true.
a lot more than not.
Yeah,
And it's crazy because I want the truth.
I do
So
too,
it's
and they
hard.
they do try to make it sound like a conspiracy theorist is crazy, like they put you, in that
Mm-hmm.
list or whatever. But I'm here to say, and I'll admit I'm crazy. I don't care. I'm a huge conspiracy theorist. I
I
love love them through and through. Most of them, I believe, I would
them.
say. So let us know what you all think.
Yeah, and then make sure next Tuesday you join us with Tommy House. We're going to talk about the blessing of the bikes and talk about some stuff with Tommy
hmm
about the church and what he does for us
motorcycles.
and the
Yeah.
bikers and our community and what the blessing of the bikes is,
hmm
so that we can kind of get into that.
Yeah. Until next time, guys. Thanks.
Bye.